last week, towards the weekend, perhaps on Thursday or Friday, we learned that the UAE has announced to travel business related people in Nigeria that they conveyed to them in a memo that Nigerian visas will be banned henceforth. So it was in the news. Many conventional media houses and social media platforms in Nigeria has been broadcasting the news since then that Nigerian visas in UAE has been banned, or that the UAE, United Arab Emirates, has banned visas for Nigerians. Now, this is published by many media houses in Nigeria. I particularly read from Nigerian Tribune. I read on This Day. These are one of the or two of the major news medias in Nigeria. I read directly from their website. Now, in order for me to verify the whether this news was genuine or not, I went to the internet and Googled it, because usually those of us here in the UAE, we like to verify information about UAE that's been posted on either Khaleej Times and some other UAE based news medias, but I found out that none of them published the news. I went to the verified Twitter handle of UAE Embassy in Nigeria, and they didn't post the news either. So I am believing that there's possibility that this information was made available to the news medias in Nigeria by the agencies that are processing visas for Nigerians in Nigeria. Now, what is the visa situation for Nigerians in UAE before now? The situation has been that many Nigerians have not been able to secure visas. I think it started with a ban, so-called ban on work permit. The reason I use the word so-called is because we didn't actually hear it from the government. So which means there is no authentic memo or news from the government have decided to ban work permit for Nigerians. But we know that it was not going through. All the companies, or majority of the companies in the UAE, have not been able to process work permit for Nigerians. Okay, so many Nigerians got a job and then they will be happy, celebrating, and then when their company apply for visa, you find out that the visa they are not able to process work permit for Nigerians. So I think there has been, it's fair also to say that it is reported that there are a few government companies or established businesses that were able to, regardless of this so-called ban, were able to process work permit for some Nigerians. We don't know how they do it. So some people say, oh, it's depending on that their influence or how influential they are. That's what determines whether they are able to process work permit for Nigerians. That's one of the situations before now. All right. Now, as things progressed, we found out also that there was news. We heard again, like rumor, that Nigerians who are below the age of 40 will not be able to process tourist visa or anything. Or what we call what you might refer to as visit visa from Nigeria to enter the UAE. And then why? Normally when you hear something like that, you wonder why. It was reported that young Nigerians, perhaps those who are below the ages of 40 years old, are found in UAE misbehaving. Okay, and you probably have seen videos of maybe even bloggers, people on TikTok making videos and talking about Nigerians, and that some do courtist, some people fight, some people misbehave and stuff like that. So we heard the rumor that it was because of these Nigerians who misbehave in the UAE. That's why the UAE, block visas for those people, or for Nigerians below the age of 40. This has been going on for a while. Okay, so the implication of this is that there has been a lot of Nigerians who are stranded in the UAE. Okay, so which means stranded means they cannot get a job, they cannot pay their rent anymore. It becomes difficult for them to feed and all of that. Some of them who can afford to go to Nigeria, they return back to Nigeria. Some of them who can afford to relocate back to other countries, a lot of them are moved to other countries. So now, currently there are still many Nigerians who are stranded, who are in UAE, stranded in the sense that they can't get a job. So I don't know, they are managing to survive, perhaps, right? So this situation, I think it forced a lot of Nigerians to look for a way out. If you're a Nigerian, you would know that for Nigerians, we always find a way. Okay, so we always find a way to survive wherever we go, whether back in Nigeria or anywhere else we go. So since they can no longer get work permit, people began to do what they call partner visa, or husband visa, or freelance visa. So freelance visa is the one that does not require you to get it does not require you to get work permit, since work permit were banned, right? So people began to do freelance visa or do partner visa. Partner visa is such that you are pretending, quote unquote, pretending, you are acting as if you are a business partner to somebody who perhaps has registered a company, and because of that, the law allows that person to have to bring up somebody as a partner on that business visa. So you also earn your own 2 or 3 years visa as a result of that. So people are doing that and they use it to get a job. So which means you have your own visa, right? So your employer need not worry about a job visa for you. I mean, securing work permit for you, or insurance or stuff like that. So they just pay you the salary based on what you do, what the service you do. You have your own passport and your own visa. So after that, so there was the news about why is it that Nigerians the Nigerians were not able to get their visas processed and all, and then we began to blame ourselves, because we feel like it was our fault because some of us misbehave, and with the way social media is these days, information fly. There were even reports that some other Africans were making jest of Nigerians on social media, on TikTok especially. People from a few other African countries will say, oh, Nigerians are this, Nigerians are that, that's why their visas were banned and all of that. Even we ourselves, a lot of Nigerians within the UAE and back in Nigeria, you can see all of these things on social media. It is public knowledge, okay? Nothing spectacular about what I'm talking about. I'm just airing my views about what I know regarding the situation. Nothing new. So that, Nigerians misbehave. In fact, some Nigerian officials, including Madam Abike Dabiri, was in the news sometimes ago, I guess maybe on channels or Arise TV, saying that because the Nigerian visa were banned because some Nigerians were misbehaving and all of those things, and so the question to me was that if work permits were banned, many of these people had a job previously, and if you lived in the UAE, you know that it is not easy for people who have jobs and gainfully employed to be involved in criminal activities or to want to join gang. You won't even have time for it, because job in UAE, you will work for the money. Okay, So I kept wondering, how do they have time to go to do criminality? And I personally know many Nigerians in UAE who don't misbehave. I don't even think I know anybody who misbehaves actually, or who would go and commit crime to the level of what we have seen in the media, in videos, like some people carrying machetes and all, which is insane. It's embarrassing. It's uncalled for. It's a shame. All right. Well, we believe this happened. We heard it happened. But one thing that I know from my experience of living in the UAE is that the UAE security agent or agency is capable, is well equipped to the level where they would be able to arrest anybody who misbehaves or who commits crime. If you've heard of people who come to the UAE and commit crime and then they are arrested, it's like these are some of the things we are proud of about living in the UAE. So we know that the UAE can arrest people who misbehave regardless of where they commit such crimes. So now to the level where visas are being work permits are denied, visas banned, visas not going through and all of that. So recently we now also heard that all these other backdoor visas that Nigerians have been getting is also restricted, banned. These are not official information, unfortunately. These are things that we hear from people who are doing visas, so-called agents. They say, okay, the partner visa is not going through, freelance visa is also not going through, And now, last week, that was in the news in Nigeria, that Nigerian visa is now banned. And according to what I read on this day, just a few minutes ago, I will put the link of that news report in this video on YouTube, just in case you want to verify for yourself, because we cannot be too sure, we cannot too much rely on what we read online these days, because there's so many people sharing nonsense. There are so many people sharing things that are practically not true. So please read confirm everything that you hear or that you see on the online. So it was in the news that the UAE has finally communicated to to some corporate organizations in Nigeria and agencies that are making visas for people, that those whose visa application already submitted are on hold, and that they are going to be rejected eventually, and that there will be no refund, and then that this situation will remain until the two governments has been able to sort out whatever issues they have. So this is where I am happy, because this it makes me feel like I'm not crazy after all, because I've been thinking personally that something is wrong that we don't know, that this is perhaps an issue between two governments, that is Nigerian government and the UAE government. And it could also be that the UAE is also making reviews of their immigration laws, and which I think all countries in the world, they do it from time to time. So, and the UAE has a right to also review their immigration law or immigration procedures. For instance, there is the new visa platform in the UAE, which is beautiful. Read through it, and it has new visa types and new requirements and all of those things. Even though we learned that even that one Nigerians cannot apply, right? Because we're thinking, some of us are thinking, okay, they want to make it, they want to reduce the number of who have no degrees in the UAE, or people who are not well educated in UAE, because there are, in my own view, I think there are so many people in the UAE who have no degree, or probably who does not have much education. Okay, so that the UAE wants to reduce the number of people, and I think it is good. It will make the country more wealthy. It will improve the knowledge power of the country. Now, Unfortunately, Nigerians also cannot apply for that. Or I learned I've not submitted an application through that platform. So, but what we heard is also that the visa is if you apply as a Nigerian, you will not be processed. Okay, so now I was on TikTok a few minutes ago, and there was a live video where some ladies and men whom I believe are from Cameroon were also discussing the fact that they are also scared, that their own visa is also not going as they expect it to be. They're scared. Practically, they are scared. So I am believing that perhaps there's something that the UAE is doing in terms of reviewing the visa application, who can apply, what requirement is required, and all of those things. Perhaps they need to flush out some people who are already here in order to be able to implement this. But as far as the news about UAE banning Nigerian visa recently, I think, and the clause that there's need, or that it will remain like that until the two governments have been able to reach an agreement, that is an indication that perhaps the UAE needs to get the Buhari government to a round table. That there are some things, maybe there's need for some new MOU, there's some need to formulate some policies around immigration and all. I'm aware that the Indian government and the UAE government have some form of understanding. I think the Philippines also have some form of understanding with the UAE government in terms of labor movement and all. So perhaps they want Nigeria also to get to that level. And I'm also thinking maybe it might also have reason to do with the fact that the Emirates airline, which is one of the biggest in the world, is no longer carrying passengers from Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populated black nation in the world. Okay, so and I think Etihad has stopped going for many years now, or for some many months. Let me not say years, because I'm not sure. So now, what to do if you are a Nigerian, or if you're an African and you think you're being affected? What do you do? I think we should be careful. I think we should behave. But I think we should also stop blaming ourselves, especially if you are not done anything wrong, if you are not a criminal, if you have not committed crime, So I think it is also important to stop giving people who claim to be agents money to process UAE visa for you, because it's not going now. So this is what I want to share in this video. I hope it makes sense to some people. I hope it blesses somebody. Right? So thank you. If you like the content that I share, please do subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. Henceforth, I'm going to be sharing some experiences that I've had personally, which I believe could be beneficial, especially to people from Africa. Thank you very much.